Hello everyone. So in this video what we're going to see is how we can prepare a query in Azure Data Factory from the input parameters. So in my example I'm going to pass input parameters table A comma table B, and at the output I'm going to expecting is I should prepare a query in this fashion. The select count star from this table A and the count star from table B, and I put a union all between these two tables so that I can run this as one single query. So instead of running each query, this query separately, this count query separately, and this count query separately, now I can run as one single query, combining all this query into a single query. I can run this in a single shot. So that is what I'm going to do it now with the help of Azure Data Factory. Let's jump to Azure Data Factory and see how we can do this. Now I open the Azure Data Factory. I'm going to create a pipeline now, a new pipeline. So this is my new pipeline, and I'm going to pass parameters to that. So my input tables I'm going to pass. So my default values I'm just passing as table A comma table B, and my variables I'm going to use 4 variables here, like variable 1, variable 2, variable 3, and variable 4. This first two are like boolean and boolean. So default I'm making this true, and this one making it as false. So yeah, so I'll just use one more variable 5 just to finally display the output, like variable 5 string. Yeah, that's all. So I'm going to prepare the pipeline now. So first I'm going to use for each activity, because I'm going to pass multiple table names as the input parameter. So I'm going to split the tables from the parameters. So I'm going to use for each activity. So here I'm going to run this in sequence, and I'm going to use the input parameter here. I'm going to split the input parameter using comma. So I'm going to use split function here, and I'm going to split using comma. So that is all about my for each activity. And it's a for each activity I'm going to use variables, set variables. I'm going to use 3 variables here. There's some 3 variables. The variable 1, this variable I'm going to use variable 1, and the value I'm going to use, this is my variable here. So in the values I've used this expression. So this is to prepare a query. So I'm using this concat function to concat a string as well as the input parameter to form the query. So if you see the query, I'm just concatenating the two queries, right? Select count star from table A, union all, collect count star from table B, right? So I'm just putting a union all between these two queries. Okay, so if I put only one concatenation, then at the end also you'll get a union all, right, for all the times, right? So but for the last end I should not get union all, right? So for that purpose I'm just preparing, I just use a variable 3. The first time alone it's run that particular concat function. The rest it goes to the subsequent one where you have this union all. Okay, so that's what you could say. That's why the expression will do here, like you will understand when you run this expression. That is what I do it in the first variable. The second variable, I'm just storing this variable from the value from the first one. So because I'm going to append the data, right? So I'm just going to append, right? So I'm just use it use the variable 1 as output. I'm use variable 1 and assign to variable 2, and set 3 variable. I'm gonna use variable 3, and currently it is set to true, but I'm making this to say variable 4, because in variable 4 default as false, so I'm setting the variable as false. So this is what I'm going to do here. So now we come when the second iteration comes here, if you see here, now I make the variable as the variable 3 as false here. So when you check in this one, so the second iteration comes here, it will not go into this loop, this first if statement, go to the next else part here. So the else part is going to do the union all. Okay, so that's the reason I have this I've used 4 variables here, variable 3 and variable 4, mainly to process only for the first time. The rest it has go to the next subsequent, the else part, right, for the purpose. So that is for my for each loop. So now I'm in the main pipeline. So here I'm gonna add the variable. I'm gonna set variable again here. This is just to show the final output. Just I'm populating here this variable. I'm gonna use set variable 5 and use value from variable 1. Here you use 1 or 2. Yeah, 1. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Let me debug this one. Pass the variable a and b. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, it ran fine. Let me check the output now. So now the way the output, if you see that, select table A from table B, count from table B union all. Select table A, table count from table A. So this is how you can pass input parameters, and with the input parameters you can prepare a query for each table and get the output as a single query. Combine all the table query into a single query. Yeah. So this is what you could see in the output. And let's debug again for more than 2 tables now, and let's see how it works. See, yeah, the query is pipeline is running now, and yeah, we got the output successful. So if you see the output, I have put 3 parameters now: table A, table B, and table C. For each table I prepare a count query, then I put a union all between these tables, and prepare one final query. So this is my final query. So if you see my the variable 3 and 4 are mainly used to use those variable to populate this union. Okay, for the first time when you run this for the first time, you should not put a union. Okay, but for the subsequent time when you run, you should put a union at the end of this query. Okay, for that purpose only I have used variable 3 and 4. So that's the reason when I checked for the first time, I just open this one and explain here. Okay, if you see the variable 1 here, I've used when for the first time, right? So the first time it gonna just prepare the string without the union all. Okay, and I'm in the next, in the subsequent activity, I'm just changing the true to false, right? So in that iteration, so this will not execute, only this else part is going to execute. In that one you have union all. Okay, that's the reason you could see the output also. In the output, only for the first time you will not get a union all, but for the subsequent iteration you get a union all. So in that way you will get a single query which concatenating all these input parameters into a single query with union all between them. Okay, so yeah, that's all for this video. Thanks for watching.